Did you know what's strange? We live in a time where we have more freedom, more convenience, more choices than any generation before us. But somehow people are more mentally exhausted than ever. You open Netflix, scroll for 40 minutes, and end up watching nothing. You open YouTube, 50 tabs in your brain. You go online to buy one pair of shoes, and suddenly there are 700 options. Every food delivery apps feel stressful now. And the weird thing is, you would think having more choices would make us happier. The real part of novelties can make you feel excited, but the truth is, it can also make you feel lost. But neuroscience and psychology suggest something different. Sometimes more choices don't create freedom. They create mental fatigue, decision paralysis, anxiety, and this psychological phenomenon is called our brains evolved in a completely different world. Thousands of years ago, humans didn't wake up and choose between 400 career paths, 800 Netflix shows, 200 serials, and unlimited social media content. Most decisions back then were simple and survival based. Food, shelter, safety, social connection. That's it. But modern life forces the brain into constant decision making, and every decision costs mental energy. Even tiny decisions what should I wear? What should I watch? What should I reply? And should I buy this? Is this best option? I am missing something better. Your brain is constantly evaluating, comparing, filtering, predicting outcomes. And neuroscientists call part of this process cognitive load. So basically, more information your brain has to process, the more mentally drained you become. There's another concept connected to this called decision fatigue. So what this basically means, that more decision you make, the worse your brain becomes at making them. It is exactly like the quicksand. Remember, the more you try to come out of it, the more you go down, sinking in it. So to be honest, your mental energy is not infinite. Your prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for planning, reasoning, self-control, and even decision-making, gets tired. Just a little muscle gets tired after exercise, and this is why people make worse choices when mentally exhausted. Sometimes after a long, stressful day, people don't want to think anymore, isn't it? So what the brain switches to auto mode, where it tries to save mental fatigue, and then sometimes automate happens. Your brain chooses the most loved, or the most of the time you must have eaten it, chooses those type of food, and not to be surprised, we all know they order junk food. Impulse buying, mindlessly scroll social media, not because they're weak, because the brain is fatigued. And companies know this. That's why apps constantly throw choices to you, because overwhelmed brains becomes emotionally reactive. Now here's where it gets really interesting. Psychologist Barry Schwartz popularized this idea that more options can actually reduce satisfaction. Sounds backward, right? But think about it. Imagine you walk into a store with only 3 jam flavors. You pick one. You're happy. You move on. Now imagine there are 75 flavors. Suddenly, brain starts to thinking, what if I picked the wrong one? Was there a better option? Or maybe I missed something. More choices create more doubts in the brain. And after choosing, your brain keeps imagining alternative outcomes. What if the other option was better? This is called opportunity cost thinking. And not to be surprised, social media made these even worse. Because now we don't just compare products, we compare our lives, careers, relationships, bodies, success, lifestyles. Your brain constantly feels like there's always something better out there. And that creates chronic fatigue. Now let's talk about dopamine for a second. My favorite part. A lot of people misunderstand dopamine. Dopamine is not just pleasure. It's heavily connected to anticipation and seeking behavior, novelty, potential rewards, which means having endless options. Keep your brain searching, scrolling, refreshing, looking for that perfect thing. The perfect video, perfect career, perfect relationship, perfect opportunity. And platforms are designed around this. Infinite scrolling is basically weaponized uncertainty. Your brain keeps thinking, maybe the next thing will be better. And because there is no stopping point, your brain never fully relaxes. This also explains why many people today feel frozen. Too many possibilities can create paralysis, especially in younger generations. People are told you can't become anything, do anything, move anywhere, start over anytime. Sounds empowering, but for many brains, it becomes overwhelming pressure. Because every choice now feels permanent and high stakes. What if I chose the wrong career? What if I waste years? What if there was a better path? And sometimes people stay stuck because choosing one thing means letting go of other possibilities. And brain hates uncertainty. Honestly, if you ask me, our grandparents probably had less anxiety around choices. Not because life was easier, because life was much simpler. Today, your brain sees thousands of lives every week online. Millionaires at 22, fitness influencers, luxury lifestyles, productivity gurus. And your brain starts believing I should doing more. But biologically, the human brains was never designed to absorb this much social comparison. It overloads emotional system And study shows excessive decisions making and information overload can increase stress and mental fatigue. Your attention becomes fragmented. Your thought becomes noisy. And eventually you stop feeling mentally clear. This is why many people secretly crave simplicity now. Minimalism, quietness, nature, distraction, which is fewer distraction. Because reducing choices can actually reduce cognitive stress. Even successful people simplify decision. Some people wear similar clothes daily. Some follow routines. Some reduce unnecessarily options. And not because they can choose, because they want to protect mental energy. Your brain performs better when it isn't drowning in constant micro decisions. One thing modern culture ignores is this: your brain needs recovery from stimulation. Constant information consuming is not normal. Notifications, videos, music, scrolling, ads, choices, recommendations. Your nervous system never fully rests. And over time, mental exhaustion starts feeling normal. And persistent mental fatigue often leads to unhealthy habits like poor sleep or bad diets, which can drive up blood pressure over time. People think, this is just an adulthood, isn't it? But sometimes the brain is simply overloaded. So what actually helps? Honestly, not becoming anti-technology, but creating boundaries. Simple things like reducing unnecessary choices, limiting constant scrolling, having routines, simplifying your environment, taking breaks from overstimulation. Small habits help, like deciding your meal beforehand, reducing app clutter, not constantly pairing yourself online, because every little decision consumes attention. And attention is one of the brain's most valuable resources. The strange thing, and lastly, the strange thing about modern life is we spend decades trying to create unlimited freedom and unlimited choices. But the human brain has limits. And sometimes peace does come from having more. Sometimes peace comes from having enough. Enough options, enough information, enough stimulation. Because when the brain stops constantly searching, it can finally think clearly again. And maybe that's the real paradox of choice. The more options we have, the harder it becomes to feel mentally free. If this video made you think differently about your own mind, subscribe to Pawan Dawwra's Precious Brain Lab. I'll see you next time on a new video. And lastly, the most important thing that I always say, take care of your brain and it'll take care of you. Thank you.